Located on the border of Coastal Plain and Piedmont regions in North Carolina is a place called Nash County. It produces agricultural commodities such as tobacco, corn, cotton, soybean, and the list goes on and on. Nash County is a place that was once dominated by farmland and country roads. But in the beginning of the Industrial Revolution, all of that began to change. With a population of just over 95,000 people, it's country living with the city feel. It's now become a hidden gem for the cities that surround it. Sadly, it's currently known for the loss of one of its natives, a girl who went by the name of Amarriah Smith. While off at college, she'll encounter trouble, reassuring that leaving the nest is just as dangerous for humans as it is for the birds who are pushed from the trees. March 8th, 2004. The world will make way for Amarriah Smith. The place she called home was Nash County, North Carolina, where she would be brought into this world as the youngest of her siblings. Amaria is described as someone who was smart, sweet, funny, and all around compassionate soul. She would receive her education from the Nash County Public School System, where she would ultimately graduate from Nash Central High. While in high school, she participated in JROTC. She was a yearbook editor. She was a junior varsity cheerleader. And last, but certainly not least, she was class president. Amaria was truly someone who thought of others before herself. In her free time, she would tutor special needs children, as well as helping those around her. Aside from school, she enjoyed swimming, looking her best, and posing for the camera. Being the person that Amaria was, people gravitated towards her, so she had plenty of friends to spend her time with.
Good morning, and welcome to all of you as we celebrate the class of 2022. I cannot believe that the moment we have been waiting for is finally here. I am sure that we are all a combination of nervous, anxious, and just plain ready to go. I can admit I had a little trouble writing this speech, afraid that I might say the wrong thing to you guys, or make a complete fool of myself on this stage. I think I already have my clue. But after some time of praying, the Lord provided me with this message. We're going to fail, we're going to make mistakes, and we're going to make wrong turns, and maybe even want to quit. But we can't. In reflecting back on our time together, we can all remember the frustrations and the stresses of COVID, followed by the transitioning back to normal school. We all had our fair share of late night studying, difficult assignments, all while getting ready for college or the workforce, our biggest headache. We have learned that we can't just sit around and wait for things to happen. We can't be afraid of hard work because we're unsure of the outcome. Think about how great it feels at this moment right now not to quit and actually finish. That's how you're supposed to feel every time you accomplish something. See, obstacles are going to always be there in our lives, but they're not there to make us stop. They're there to make us become stronger and better with every step we take. The challenges we have faced has made us more appreciative of the memories we have made together for our senior year.
Upon graduation, Amaria was ready to take on the world, where she would enroll for classes in the fall of 2022, where she would attend Elizabeth State University. We have all heard the saying that the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. Being a compassionate soul was something that she inherited from her mother. Her mother was a teacher. So upon joining college, she would decide to major in elementary education, where she would follow in her footsteps in hopes to one day teach little children. Aside from reaching adulthood and enrolling in college, another part of being an adult is hard work, which she knew everything about. She would work at a McDonald's, a Dollar General, and at one point, she even worked at a local cleaning service. Amarriah Smith was a bright, young soul. She had dreams and every intention on achieving them. But something was soon to happen that would rock that family to its very foundation. An event that would make the family surrounding this tragic case hug their children just a little bit tighter and put humanity into question. As a whole truck company is alerted to a vehicle sitting inside of a business's parking lot. It's located in Washington, North Carolina, just off Highway 264. So the tow truck company comes to pick up this car. Once the car is at their headquarters, they would make their routine checks. They would check inside of the main area of the vehicle and then make their way to the trunk of the car. But once opening the trunk of the car, they would make a discovery. Sitting inside of the trunk was a human body. Upon this discovery, they would immediately contact the authorities. The authorities would show up to the scene and tape off the scene to do a crime analysis. Once the scene was processed, they would work on identifying the victim. And after a short period of time, they would come to realize that the body that was found in the trunk was 19-year-old Amarriah Smith. When the authorities identified the victim, the next thing to do is to alert the family of the tragic circumstances. And upon speaking with family, they couldn't think of anyone who would want to harm her. Amarriah Smith was truly loved by everyone she encountered. She always had a smile on her face. She was an upbeat person. She enjoyed helping others. So the thought of someone harming Amaria just couldn't register in their minds. With no real suspect in mind, the authorities thought they would have a hard time finding out exactly who committed this act. However, the evidence found at the scene was very telling. After processing the scene, they would quickly realize that the vehicle that Amaria was found in didn't belong to her. So they decided to cross-reference not only the VIN number, but the tag as well. And upon completion, they would have a name. The investigation would lead them to 29-year-old Jordan Thomas. Once finding out the name of a person of interest, they would release a bolo. But just like finding out who the car belonged to, it wouldn't be hard to find him. Because it turns out, when Jordan Thomas left his vehicle in the vacant parking lot, he also stole a truck that was sitting in the same vicinity. Surveillance camera would show him dropping off his vehicle and then boosting a truck. So the authorities would follow the truck, pulling highway cameras, business cameras, anything they could find to track him exactly where he went. The authorities would have success. The search would eventually lead them to a local hospital. Now, it isn't stated exactly what he was doing at the hospital, whether he worked there or whether he was visiting someone. However, 29-year-old Jordan Thomas was there, and he would be arrested on the spot on charges of larceny of a vehicle as well as concealment of a body. At the point in time that Jordan Smith was transported to headquarters, they need further evidence to substantiate a claim of murder, so they would work on it. As he was being booked into the local jail, the authorities were already doing the paperwork for a search warrant on his property. While waiting on the warrant, they would attempt to interrogate 29-year-old Jordan Thomas. However, he wasn't speaking with authorities, so they were counting on this warrant to tell them everything they needed to know. Once the warrant was signed by a judge, they would quickly raid his home. And inside of the home, they would find evidence linking him to the crime. And on January 22nd of 2023, he would be formally indicted on murder charges. Although the authorities did find evidence linking him to a crime, they didn't find anything to suggest that the incident happened at his home, and they believe that that took place elsewhere. However, they haven't found that scene. But one thing they are certain of is that 29-year-old Jordan Thomas took the life of 19-year-old Amarriah Smith.
We have new information on a murder investigation in Chowan County. Investigators say the victim is a 19-year-old Amarriah Smith. Smith was a student at Elizabeth City State University. Jordan Thomas is behind bars, charged with murder. Authorities say Thomas killed the victim and put her body in the trunk of a car. 10 on your sides, Andy Fox is covering this story. He's been on the scene all day, and there will be a vigil for the victim.
Yeah, Regina, we are standing here on the university campus, and at 4:30 there will be a vigil for this beloved member of this campus here at the university. Now, this is what we've been able to find out. According to the sheriff's office, Amarriah Smith was killed last Tuesday. Jordan Thomas, whom she met at Thomas's tattoo business in Elizabeth City called Vision Inc., is accused of felony murder. Thomas is accused of killing her in another county where he was staying, put her in the trunk of his car, drove the body to Beaufort County. He dumped the car, and when someone came to tow the car, they would open up the trunk and find the body.
Life is truly a precious thing. One of those things that people seem to take for granted. I know you've heard the saying that every day you open your eyes is a gift. And in the trying times that we live in today, that statement couldn't be any more clear. A lot of times in the comments, I get a question of why I do what I do. Why do I make these videos? Some people even question, who are you to speak on someone else's tragedy? And the answer is clear. I know exactly what it feels like to go through a tragedy. I know exactly what these families feel. They pulled my grandfather's cold body out of a lake. And when you're left with more questions than answers, it's truly agony. I find comfort in knowing that my grandfather lived a full life. But what about the victims, such as 19-year-old Amarriah Smith, who was on her way to becoming something truly great? And she lost her life for what? Some dusty bomb that she most likely rejected? Because at this point, that's what it looks like this story is leading to. Again, I want to specify that these stories are not easy. Looking at the pictures of the victims, looking at their smile, the way that they lived their life, and then I think back on my life. Have you ever known what it feels like to actually live a life where you flirt with death on a daily basis? Man, and then I truly think about the angels like Amaria, who was truly put here on this earth to make someone's life greater. And they didn't deserve what happened. I said those things to say this: cherish the people around you. Harness empathy for those you don't know and for the ones close to you. When you look at that photograph on their Facebook page, their IG, TikTok, and you see that smile upon their face, I want you to realize that that could all change in a fraction of a second. And what was to come becomes a big what if.
To my parents, I thank you for raising me to be the young lady I am today. I thank my mom for your words of wisdom and love. To my dad, I thank you for being my toughest critic and for never leaving my side for no matter what. And to the most important, the class that I spent 4 years with, I pray we go forward, that we become successful, and I pray that we do whatever our hearts desire. Don't forget what you have learned these few years, and always work hard and be thankful. We did it, y'all. Congratulations, class of 2022.
In the short time that I've known Amaria, I can't recall ever seeing her mad, upset, or angry. She carried that big bright smile no matter what type of day she was having.
She would help anyone she could help. Just the most caring, funny, outgoing. I would just run into people in the street here, and they would say, your daughter works at McDonald's. She said, you know, she's so funny, and I love going through the drive-thru just to see her. Or, you know, I met your daughter, she looks just like you.
I cannot promise you a life of sunshine. I cannot promise riches, wealth, or gold. I cannot promise you an easy pathway that leads away from change or growing old. But I can promise all my heart's devotion, a smile to chase away your tears of sorrow, a love that's ever true and ever growing, a hand to hold in yours through each tomorrow.
For Amarriah Smith's family, getting through life without her is something they never would have imagined.
Learn from this mistake. Any parents that's listening, wrap your hand around your child, because once they're gone, you can't wrap your arms around it no more.
He didn't have to kill her. We didn't just lose her to death. Somebody stole her from us. If he can see this, and to his family, you raised a monster. I don't even know when my baby died. I don't even know when he killed her exactly.
Due to the nature of the crime, the police aren't releasing a lot. They haven't released the motive, and they haven't released her cause of death. It is currently an ongoing investigation, and the family is seeking justice. If you have any information in regards to the case of 19-year-old Amarriah Smith, please contact the North Carolina Police Department and relay the information you know. What happened to 19-year-old Amaria is truly tragic. A young, gifted soul with the world ahead of her. And this was all cut short for no reason. It truly makes you think about the state we're living in. The world just isn't a friendly place. Rest in peace, Amarriah Smith. Thank you for being a light for others. I truly hope you receive the justice that you deserve.